නමෝ තස්සේ භගවතු අරහතු සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්සේ නමෝ තස්සේ භගවතු අරහතු සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්සේ නමෝ තස්සේ භගවතු අරහතු සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්සේ. Dear friends in the Dharma, blessings to you all. Today, I'm going to share with you an important teachings of the Buddha, that is Buddhist virtue that we all can train in. That is gratitude. Gratitude is one of the great qualities that we can develop as human beings. I would like to invite you to recall to your mind an incident where you helped someone in a significant way. Think about a day or a moment that someone sacrificed a lot for you. Someone postponed their plans to help you or to just to be with you. Or someone made extra effort to buy you something that you really like. Think about such a moment in your life. I'm sure that you will be able to remember such an incident in your life. This morning, when I was chanting and meditating in the morning, I was sitting on a cushion. And that cushion that I was sitting in this morning was it is exactly the correct height for me to sit comfortably. So I was able to, I was so happy to sit on that cushion and to chant and meditate. And then later I remembered who gave me that cushion. That I remembered how that kind person made extra effort to go around and find such a cushion for me to sit comfortably and meditate. So when I remember how that kind friend, a devotee, helped me in that way, how he sacrificed a lot to just to give me a comfort and support my practice, I felt so much gratitude in my heart. So early in the morning when I feel grateful, I feel so happy. I feel so contented. I feel so satisfied. So gratitude is a feeling. And in fact, in Pali language, we use two terms to refer to this special quality. One is katanyu, that means remembering or knowing what others have done for us. And the second term is katavedi, that is related to feeling, having a feeling or having grateful feeling for others, for their help done to us. So it's one way gratitude is remembering and knowing the fact that we have been helped. On the other hand, it's also a positive feeling that we have in our mind, and that deep appreciation that we have in our mind for those help we receive from others. So if we learn how to remember those wholesome deeds other people have done for us, we can easily feel grateful. And of course, the teachings of the Buddha have very important guidance for us to develop this gratitude. In fact, the Buddha said that if you really want to recognize a good person, like how to distinguish a good person from a bad person, and Buddha said that the important characteristic of a good person is gratefulness. Because for someone to feel grateful, for someone to have gratitude, that person has to have so much other qualities too. That person has to have a good mindfulness, that person has to have a good humbleness, and all other qualities. So gratitude comes along with so many other virtues. But this is a quality that we all can cultivate. And I will tell you that it's not only a kind of virtue, a wholesome virtue, but it's also a, a, a way to be happy. Because think about the opposite of gratitude. What would be the opposite of gratitude? Like if you don't feel grateful, if you don't find anything to be grateful, what would be the opposite? So I would say opposite of gratitude is something like frustration, maybe complaining, maybe lack of a feeling of lack, and sometimes even loneliness. And those are the opposite of gratitude. So do you think that having that feeling of loneliness, frustration, like feeling complaining, do you think that those states are happy states? I'm sure that you know that they are not. Those feelings are not happy feelings, and we don't really want to be there. But of course, we know that life brings situations, and we meet people who will frustrate us, who will disappoint us. Those things will happen. So I'm not telling you that life is always giving us the best thing, but of course life is challenging, and of course people that we live with can be difficult to deal with. But for us to feel grateful, there's always a method, always a way to do that. Feeling grateful is actually an art of paying attention, or art of shifting our attention. So if we know correctly to pay attention to the proper thing, we'll be able to feel grateful at any moment in our life. As you remembered, how someone in your life helped you so much recently. But at any given point of our life, we always experience a result of kindness of someone. Any point in our life, maybe we are just sitting by ourselves without doing nothing. Maybe we are just traveling. It may be anything. But any given moment in our life is a moment that we are experiencing kindness of someone. And we just have to pay attention to see it. We just have to focus our mind to see it. Just think about a moment. If maybe you are now sitting in a chair, on a chair, and then listening to this Dharma talk, and you are comfortably sitting there. Maybe that chair that you are sitting on, maybe that has been arranged for you by someone. Or maybe that chair may be cleaned by someone for you to sit on. So even right now, when you are sitting there, maybe you may not be sitting on a chair, maybe you are sitting on floor, maybe a cushion or maybe a mat. But maybe someone has arranged that for you. So now you are comfortably sitting there. Or maybe someone has bought that seat or the mat or the cushion for you. So even right now you are experiencing the kindness of someone. And even you can think about the clothes that you are wearing. The clothes that you are wearing, maybe even like jewelries that you are wearing right now. And those things, maybe gifts that you receive from others. So even right now, so when you are simply sitting and listening to this talk, and you are already experiencing kindness of someone. And even I can say that, maybe you have taken your meal just before you, sat down for this talk. And someone may have prepared that meal for you. So you feel comfortable to sit and then listen to this talk. Someone may have, prepared, a drink for you, and you had that drink and you feel comfortable and you are sitting and listening to this talk. So any point in our life, we are actually experiencing the kindness of someone. Maybe someone that we know, and maybe someone that we don't know. But we are always receiving help from others. That is the reality. But we just need to train our mind to pay attention to that. I would like to remind you a very important incident in the life of the Buddha. I think you remember, the enlightenment of the Buddha. The second week of the enlightenment, what did the Buddha did? What did the Buddha do? Do you remember what happened in the second week of the enlightenment? We know that Buddha actually uh, used that second week to pay his gratitude to the Bodhi tree that he got enlightened. So he was showing his gratitude. So as a way of showing his gratitude, he was gazing at the Bodhi tree with such a gratefulness, such attention, such appreciation. Buddha was gazing at the Bodhi tree. So that was in fact the first lesson taught by the Buddha. The first lesson the Buddha taught to this world is gratitude. Of course, we know that the first sermon of the Buddha is the Dhamma Chakkapavatana Sutta, the discourse on the setting the Dhamma wheel in motion. And of course, that is the summary of the Four Noble Truths, the deep truth that Buddha has realized. That was the first sermon of the Buddha. But when you really think about his life, the first lesson he taught to the world is actually gratitude. And the ascetic Siddhartha, before he becoming enlightened, ascetic Siddhartha had all the reasons to get upset or get unhappy, because at the last moment his friends left him. When ascetic Siddhartha was experimenting with all different methods to develop his mind, and he realized that the extreme forms of asceticism, extreme forms of self-mortification, and these are not helping. So therefore he gave them up, and he was practicing the middle path, and he started to eat food and gain the strength of the body. And then his 5 friends who were around him, who were so hopeful that ascetic Siddhartha will attain enlightenment, they all got frustrated and they all left the ascetic Siddhartha. So he had all the reasons to complain. He has all reasons to get frustrated and disappointed. But what did the Buddha do after he attained enlightenment? There was no one around him when he attained enlightenment. So instead of focusing on the fact that there was no one to help me, or there was no one around me, what would the focus on? What was around him? Instead of thinking about this, my 5 friends left me, what the Buddha did actually, he focused on what was there for him to help. So he realized this tree under which he got enlightened helped him. That tree was the support. That tree was the shade. So he appreciated that even that help and support, and then showed his gratitude by gazing at those tree with deep appreciation. So that's a big lesson for us to learn from this this incident in the life of the Buddha, because it is very easy for us to focus on the things that other people have not done for us, that other people have forgotten to done for us, and very easily we forget the things. We always focus on the things that other people have forgotten, and we always forget the things that other people have done for us. And particularly, this happens in our family context, when we are living with our family members and even sometimes with our friends. And we have certain obligations to fulfill, and we have certain expectations from each other. So when we are living this life, and very easily we focus on the things, on the task that other person has forgotten to do, or other person has not done well. But there can be things that other person has done well, but we easily forget them and maybe taken for granted, and always complain for the things that other person has forgotten to do, other person has not done well. I remember, a few months ago, when I visited a monastery, a temple, I was given a tea as Gilan Pasa. And so they prepared that tea for me. So when I started to drink that tea, I realized that tea does not taste nice. So initially, the first feeling I had was I felt quite unhappy and and because of the bitter taste, and then I was not feeling happy. But then, because then I was thinking, although the tea does not taste nice, the person who made this tea has to go through all the troubles to make that tea. Someone should have, cleaned this cup. Someone should have boiled the water. Someone should have taken trouble to prepare everything. So that person has spent so much of time and energy and effort to make this tea for me. Although the tea is not in the perfect taste, but the person has done sacrifice, has given their time and energy. So when I was focusing on that, I was able to accept that tea. And of course, I did not finish that tea, but I was not feeling that higher level of unhappiness. I was appreciating the effort of the person. So in the same way, maybe your family member, some of your friends, they may have done some help for you, but maybe that's not to the level of your expectation. Of course, you can talk to them. You can tell them how you like it to be, but at the same time appreciating whatever they have done for you. So before we complain or before we make our suggestion or feedback, we should remember to appreciate what they have done for us. So that's the way we can improve our relationships, at the same time develop our gratitude. And the moment you feel grateful and you don't feel frustrated, you don't feel unhappy. So it is not possible for us to feel grateful and also unhappy at the same time. Our mind can only have one state at a time, one emotion at a time. The moment you feel grateful, suffering is gone, frustration is gone, disappointment is gone. And what we have to do for that is just to pay attention to the positive side of it, that pay attention to whatever others have done for us, even though it is not to our level of expectation. So gratitude is ultimately an art of paying attention, is art of focusing our mind. So it is possible at any given point of time we can focus our attention on the things that has not done, or we can also focus our attention to things that have been done. We can focus our attention to what we do not have, or we can also focus our attention what we already have. So if we can learn to pay our attention to what we already have, or pay our attention to the help that we have already received, and that's the way to feel grateful, and then that's the way to remove our unhappiness and then develop some energy. That doesn't mean that we will not discuss and then inform others how to do their job better than they have done, but we can still can have such a discussion with others. But what is really important is to first appreciate whatever sacrifice or dedication that they have done for us. So let us try to train our attention to shift our attention to what we have, and maybe one day someone has cooked a meal for you, so you came and you are having this meal, but that meal may not taste to your level of expectation. So you can kindly suggest or maybe give your feedback in a kind manner. But before we give our feedback, or maybe before we tell them what is not good about that meal, we should first appreciate their effort and their effort and their time and energy that they have given to prepare this meal, and even their generosity, their kindness to even prepare this meal for us. The one reason sometimes that we cannot feel grateful is actually is that sometimes whenever we are living in a family and sometimes even a workplace, sometimes we feel that we are entitled to receive help from others. So when we feel that we are entitled to receive this help from others, and that doesn't allow us to feel grateful. For example, let's say someone can do a laundry for you. Someone can wash your clothes, and someone maybe fold your clothes nicely, or maybe someone will do shopping for you, and buy things for you. And so when one of our family members do such help and favors to us, and we don't take time to appreciate that, because we feel like I'm entitled to do that. They should do it. That's what we feel. They should do this help for me. They should cook. They should go shopping. They should wash these clothes. So and we feel like, because I'm doing these things, and they should do these things, I am entitled to get this help. But in reality, we are really not entitled to get anything actually. Even though we can have obligation to each other, we may have shared responsibility when we live together. It is possible. But I think we cannot assume that we are entitled, or we have some kind of right to get help from others. Although we are, husband and wives, although we are parents and children, although we are working to, we are colleagues. So and therefore we should pay our attention to our mind and get rid of this idea that we are entitled to receive help from others. And because then we can appreciate any little help that others are doing for us, and that is really, really helpful. So remember, so gratitude is an art of paying attention, particularly shifting and paying attention to what others have done for us, or what we already have, rather than focusing too much on what others missed to do, or what we do not have. Of course, there can be so many things that other people have forgotten to do, and there can be so many things that we may not have right now. Of course, it's okay to think about them once in a while, and we can make effort to fill those gaps. But we should not forget what we already have. We should not forget what others people have done for us. We should remember that we have a tendency in our mind to remember the negative things more than the positive things. We should know that. We have that tendency. Our human brain is easily remembering all the negative things and easily forgetting the positive things. So we in neuroscience, there's a saying that our brain is Velcro for negative memories, and it is Teflon for positive memories. Which means that Velcro is something that you retain everything, keep everything, and Teflon is kind of non-stick pan that you can easily, things are going away. So our mind has that tendency. So if someone helped us, someone speak nicely to us, if there are positive things happen in a day, we can easily forget these things from our mind, like what is moving through the non-stick pan. But if there's negative thing happen in the day, if someone has ignored us, if someone has forgotten to do something, and we remember that very clearly, just like a Velcro. So this is a natural tendency. So if we feel like, at the end of the day, if you feel like today was a bad day, it doesn't really mean it was a bad day. It is just that the negative things retain in our mind more than the positive things. I can give an example. Let's say when you went to your work in the morning, and 10 people have greeted you well, and 10 people greeted you well and said good morning. But maybe one person happened to ignore you, and then by the middle of the day, what you remember is the fact that someone did not talk to you, someone ignored you. You kind of forgot all the 10 greetings you got that day. So that's the nature of our mind. If you remember this, we'll be able to balance our attitude And then always, therefore, we have to make an effort to purposely pay attention to positive things happen in the day. We have to make an effort to purposely pay attention to the things that we have, purposely pay attention to the sacrifice and dedication that other people have done to us. If we do not do it purposely, we easily forget them, or maybe we easily taken them for granted. And as a result, we will easily feel frustrated, unhappy, and not satisfied. Therefore, train your mind always to turn your attention to see the help and the dedication that other people have done for us. And this is also so helpful in the practice of the Dhamma, because feeling grateful can be related to selflessness. When we pay so much attention to ourselves, and when we forget that we are being helped, or we live thanks to the help received from others, without our knowing, we feel prideful, we feel arrogance. So the more grateful we feel, the less arrogant we feel, and less prideful we feel, and easily we can get rid of this ego. So the gratitude is a very important practice to improve our spiritual growth. And it is helping us to go beyond ego. It is helping us to realize that our life is not possible without help from others. And we are not independent individuals, but we are interdependent individuals. So we are always receiving help from others. Our life is possible because of the kindness of others. Our life is possible because of the help, supports we receive from others. Many people have done that, and many people will continue to do that. When you remember it, when you pay your attention to those supports and helps other people are continue to do for you, you feel so grateful. You will come out from your ego. You feel so selfless, and that's the path to practice the Dhamma. So I will encourage you, learn this art of paying attention to what you already have and what others have done for you. And that way, we can gradually grow in our spiritual path. At the same time, we can feel happy. Happiness is what we really need. So at any point, we can feel happy. Just find something that you can be grateful for, even a little thing that will make your day. Thank you.